I'm Dr. Burkenstock, owner of Skin Body Health in Mandeville, Louisiana and New Orleans, Louisiana. We are licensed in Alabama, Florida, and Louisiana and are happy to serve you actually nationwide by Zoom or telemedicine conference. Tonight we're going to be talking about organic foods, the myth versus the reality or the truth about organic foods. So organic foods have become something that we're very much not being able to find unless you went to a specialty shop, and to now they're virtually on every aisle of our food stores. But is the extra cost involved really worth it? In some cases, yes. In other cases, no. So let's review tonight the myth versus the reality of organic and non-organic. Well, in our grocery stores, every aisle, from even soap with all natural soap to the dog foods, organic dog foods, pure dog foods, all natural dog foods. And then we can go over to the organic pasta. And then we go to our produce aisles. And there's everything from the watermelons to the celeries to the grapes, apples, mandarins, bananas. But again, when do we need organic and when do we not? And what exactly does the word organic mean? And is it the same all across the board? Well, no, it's not. And what we're going to find is there are 4 different categories of organic foods. And like most other things in this world, there are some true with the true USDA organic seal of approval. And that has actually 2 definitions, which we will review. And then also there's a third where something can be made with organic, won't have the USDA seal, but still looks like organic, and it can have up to 30% of non-organic, pesticide-filled, over-processed ingredients in them. And then a fourth is just simply, it may have an organic ingredient or 2, but by and large, more than the majority, more than 70% of that food product is not made with organic at all. And it is in fact probably mostly junk foods. So let's try to break this apart and make this simple for people. So an organic food is one sold, yes, at a little bit higher prices, but because they were supposed to and should have more special handling. So for example, they shouldn't have synthetic pesticides or chemical fertilizers. And then they shouldn't have food additives or excessive irradiation or radiation exposure. There was a study produced by Stanford, and that university in its study revealed that organic products aren't all necessarily more nutritional. Again, it goes back to what we're speaking of. What type of organic, and is it a food that necessarily has to be organic? Just to touch on the later aspect of this talk, we see this banana. It is an organic banana. But as we know about bananas, the peel is so thick and inedible, no one ever eats a banana peel. So really, this is one food that if you waste your money on the organic version, by all means buy it organically if you'd like to. But it is one of those ones where you're actually wasting a few cents because you're going to peel off that thick outer skin already, and the pesticides are not going to be within. Well, let's go back to the nitty-gritty. So what they did find was that sometimes they're more nutritionally beneficial, for example in an apple or a grape, and sometimes not, for example in a watermelon or a banana. The researchers found that organic produce had a 30% lower risk of pesticide contamination than conventional fruits. But exactly what does that word organic mean? It refers to the way agricultural products are grown or processed. So it's both the growth phase and then the processing phase. Organic can vary from country to country. In the United States, organic crops must be grown without the use of synthetic herbicides, pesticides, or fertilizers, and important, bioengineered genes. Well, that's a big word. You may have seen on some of your products GMO, non-GMO. Well, what is a GMO? GMO is genetically modified organisms. In short, GMO. These genetically engineered or genetically modified foods or plants whose DNA has been altered. They alter the DNA of the food, and it's in ways that cannot be found in nature. That's how we get a seedless watermelon. There are no seeds, but we all know that watermelons grow by seeds. So how did they grow this watermelon that has no seeds inside? They genetically modified this watermelon so that there's no seeds within. And there's actually a lot of controversy in that, because it could become at a point in time where a big corporation, and some of you may know that corporation, Monsanto, who owns many seeds in the United States and even some worldwide, there is talk that they're trying to monopolize and hold the bounty of the seeds so that at some future point in time we would not be able to get our foods without that company. But we're not here to discuss Monsanto tonight, but this is definitely a genetically modified product, and if you're wanting something that's natural and not DNA altered, not normally grown in nature, this might be some product, seedless watermelon, seedless anything, that you may want to avoid. It just can't occur, can't be found, and can't be grown in nature or in traditional crossbreeding. So they do this partially for the profit, partially to own rights to certain future fruits and vegetables, and also that alteration in DNA makes the produce resistant to certain pesticides and insecticides. So what are GMO foods commonly? What sort of produce do we commonly see GMO, these genetically modified, which I certainly don't recommend. They're not natural, they're not good for our health. But we find them a lot with soybean crops, alfalfa, squash, zucchini, papaya, and canola, just to name a few. And inside of products that are processed, there's a lot of genetically modified crops used in those. For example, your breakfast cereals and many of the foods that we eat up and down the cracker and carbohydrate aisle. Different things from wheat to rice, etc., etc. So what can these things do to us, say if we are a neonate or a baby or a pregnant woman? Well, what we do know is that these herbicides and pesticides in some of our overly processed food or non-organic fresh foods can lead to developmental delays in babies and infants, autism in children, immune system disorders that can show themselves in childhood or adulthood, and motor dysfunction, so some sort of paralysis or contractures or even some forms of epilepsy. Pregnant women are more vulnerable due to the added stress that these pesticides put on their already taxed organs. So while pregnancy is a wonderful time of life, you need more volume of blood. You put more stress and strain on your liver, your heart, and other organs as you're growing this beautiful baby. So your organs are having to work overtime, and these pesticides are harmful to the mother, as well as they're passed from the mother to the child, infant, baby in the womb, the uterus of the mom, as well as through breast milk from the mom to the infant baby. Lots of people wonder, well, if I simply wash my apple, orange, or celery, can I get the pesticides and herbicides off of my food? Well, it does eliminate some of the pesticides, but rinsing and washing the produce does not remove all of them. Some of them become saturated within the meat or the bulk of the produce, of vegetables and fruits. Peeling can sometimes help, but in a thin skin, as we were saying, a thin skin like a cucumber, like a tomato, like a grape, like an apple, the valuable nutrients often will go down the drain, not only with the skin, so we don't want to peel the skin off because there's a lot of nutrients in most of the skins of fruits and vegetables, but also these pesticides and herbicides have soaken below the thin skin and down into the meat of the vegetable or fruit. Again, I'm Dr. Burkenstock, and we come on every other week, usually Wednesdays, to share with you nutritional values, skincare values, anti-aging, weight loss, anything to do with preventative medicine, anti-aging, and vitality, as well as sexual health. If you've missed any of our prior seasons or sessions, they can be seen on our webinar channel, YouTube channel, Dr. Burkenstock's Skin Body Health. So be sure to subscribe to Dr. Burkenstock's Skin Body Health, and feel free to go back and review any of the webinars that you may be interested in on skincare, anti-aging, weight loss, sexual health, food labels, and tonight, organic foods, myth versus truth. If you click like and share tonight, anybody who clicks like and share will win a bottle of our Jumpstart Juice. Our Jumpstart Juice not only is a great diet plateau breaker, but in addition to that, what is so wonderful about it is it's also a detoxification. So you're actually taking some of these toxins and junk out of the liver and promoting better health and improving your leaky gut, because you've got a prebiotics in here, which is inulin. And prebiotics are the fertilizer for probiotics, which are so good for gut health. So please like and share to get a bottle of our complimentary Jumpstart Juice. Retails at $100. We're happy to share it with you tonight for anybody who likes and shares this webinar. If you click in the description below, you can get to our product store, Dr. Burkenstock's Skin Body Health, and our Jumpstart Juice, again, normally retails for $100, and for the next month from tonight, it will be retailing at 2 for $120. That's 2 of the Jumpstart Juice for $120. It is a 3-day cleanse. Most people lose from 3 to 10 pounds in just 3 days. All natural, non-GMO, no high fructose corn syrup, and chock full of prebiotics, which is your fertilizer for your probiotics in the gut. And it's loaded with vitamins and minerals, most of them at 300 or 400% of your daily nutritional value, so that while you're doing the Jumpstart Juice, you're not losing any of your important and essential vitamins and minerals. We talked about what these horrible pesticides and herbicides can do to the body, and we all want to eat better and look better and feel better. So let's take a minute and say, well, what foods do we not have to buy organic? I mean, if you've got the extra budget and you want to buy them all, great. But perhaps there's some that you wouldn't want to buy. So we'll go into those fresh produce that are safe to buy in just a moment. For one moment, I will back up and let's talk about if a food is 100% organic. That is a single food. What do I mean by a single food? An organic fruit, like an organic apple. It's marked apple. It's got the USDA seal, organic. And we know that that is a 100% organic, natural, from the earth product. Raised without herbicides, pesticides, etc. Eggs. So here we can say, we can see that we've got the pasteurized eggs, and they're organic with the organic seal of approval. Let me show you guys what that looks like. This is the USDA seal of approval. So it's a circle with the word USDA and organic written underneath it. When you see that on a product, you know one of two things. It's either 100% organic, for example, born and raised like an apple or a nectarine. So it's 100% organic, USDA, organic, green seal of approval, as well as this cucumber, celery, and these red grapes. When we find it on a packaged product, as we just saw, the USDA seal of approval, that means in the list of ingredients on the back of the bag, at least 95% of the ingredients are pure organic, whether it's wheat, rice, corn, etc., excluding salt and water. The non-organic items have to be listed on any item that is certified USDA organic. Organic Valley, USDA seal of approval on this heavy whipping cream. So it's got organic cream and cellular gum. That's the only 2 ingredients in there. Thus, they're allowed to put on there non-GMO, no genetically modified ingredients, and USDA organic. And it's printed right there on your food label. There's a third category. So that third category might be something like these cheese balls or this Harvest Valley green pea snap crisp. If it's made with organic, it has at least 70% organic ingredients. Can't have 71, could have up to 30% of non-organic ingredients, but at least 70% are organic. You can make your own judgment call on that. I would rather not have anything that's got 70% good and 30% bad. When there are items available out there that are 70% plus, 95% plus. Then they've got the pure junk out there, which just has nothing organic in it at all. And the only thing that they may say is that made with organic ingredients, but when you look on the back of the bag, please read your ingredients labels. There's only one item out of 5, 6, or 10 that says the word organic, and everything else is non-organic. So again, it's something that you have to make your own determination. If it's got the USDA seal, you know it's either 100% organic, which is going to be something from nature, a cucumber, an apple, an orange, a celery, a grape, for example. If it's organic, but it's got multi-ingredients, for example, these tortilla chips, then 95%, if it's got the seal, USDA organic, 95% is, or more, but 95 is USDA organic. So I feel good about serving this to my family. Non-GMO, 95% or more organic ingredients, safe for my family. When we get to this other category, they may or may not have any organic ingredients in them. This one does, and it mentions organic cheese. Well, that's great. Whole grain. I'll give it a vote on the whole grain. But the other 3 ingredients, while not horrible, there's no high fructose corn syrup, would probably be in that category of number 3. 70% or less can put on there made with some organic ingredients, but cannot use the seal. And the fourth, as I was saying, these Harvest Snap green peas, again, I don't see a tremendous amount of high fructose corn syrup or BHT, which is propane, which is in many of our processed foods, but it does not have any organic ingredients, within it. So not the most horrible choice out there comparatively when you're looking at things with high fructose corn syrup, MSG, BHT. Again, if you don't understand what something means, if MSG is in category, MSG doesn't sound like the word the. MSG doesn't sound like the word grape, right? So if it BHT, what is a BHT? Well, it's actually protein, and it's in many, many of your foods. So let's go over the important produce items to buy fresh and organic, and the ones that doesn't matter so much if you're on a budget, because they're probably okay anyway. What I would not buy, organic, in other words, not necessary. Avocado, bananas, pineapple, asparagus, broccoli, onions, kiwi, cabbage, cantaloupe, and sweet corn. Well, some of those don't sound like they have a thick skin, do they? Bananas, yes. Avocados, yes. Kiwi, yes. Cantaloupe, yes. Watermelon, yes. But the cabbage, the broccoli, and the asparagus, and the onions, because of the scent or the smell or the taste of those fruits and vegetables, the little insects don't like them anyway. So they don't require heavy doses of pesticides and herbicides. So that's why they're safe. And we will put both of these lists on our website, and we'll print it up there with our YouTube video so that you can read them and have them for yourself. What you do want to buy organic, important to buy organic, thin skin vegetables and fruits. What those would be are like apples, peaches, nectarines, strawberries, grapes, celery, spinach, sweet bell peppers, cucumbers, cherry tomatoes, snap peas, potatoes, and hot peppers. So that's just a little bit about organic, the do's and the don'ts. When you're looking for organic, please remember, cage-free does not mean pasteurized. Cage-free could mean that they're still not allowed to roam and eat the things that they would in the real world, whereas pasteurized does. A slight change in definition there, but if you see the USDA seal of approval, read the ingredients label, and it should be at 95% or more. Occasionally, the ones between 70 and 95%, you may find that USDA seal, but they should be saying made with organic as opposed to using the seal. If it's a fresh fruit or vegetable from the produce, it's a one ingredient, right? You're an apple, you're born an apple, you are an apple. For it to be a USDA seal on a fruit or vegetable, it absolutely has to be 100% organic and not grown with pesticides, herbicides, or any other altered structure, including genetically modified. Watch your labels and let us know if we can help you at all when determining anything about food. We want you and your family to have what's very, very best. I'm often asked questions about why do they use pesticides and herbicides, like for example in meats, eggs, and other fowl that are grown on the farms. Well, livestock are given growth hormones so that they'll get bigger faster so that they can get to market faster. And they're also fed a non-organic, non-GMO, okay? So you want non-GMO for your family, but if you're wanting non-GMO and the farmers are feeding their cattle, feeding their livestock, feeding their chickens GMO, genetically modified bad foods, then you're ingesting it anyway, just through the end source. You're not necessarily eating the GMO product, but if the animal that you're eating is, it comes down to your foods anyway. So that's why it's so important to look not only in the foods over the counter or down the aisles, for example, but when you go to your meat and your fish section, you want to get your organic meats that are hormone-free, GMO-free, and antibiotic and steroid-free. I thank you for listening. It's always a pleasure. I hope you learned a little something about organic, the truth versus the myths. If you have any questions, we're happy to answer them.
Can you use the PLU on foods to see if they're really organic or not, or do we have to look for that seal?
By and large, you want to look for that seal. Sometimes the PLUs are different, although that is not consistent. The PLU on an organic food usually starts with the number 9, N-I-N-E 9. Although by and large, even today, when we were out buying our produce, our items weren't marked. But they were in the organic section, and we're going to count on our local grocery stores to label things properly, and I believe that they do. Well, if you've missed any of our webinars, or if you'd like to share this webinar at a later date with a loved one, family, friend, or neighbor, you can find us on our YouTube channel, Dr. Burkenstock Skin Body Health. Don't forget our 3-day cleanse Jumpstart Juice. For anybody who likes and shares, they will receive a complimentary bottle. For those who would like to purchase it, we are having a sale for the next month. Jumpstart Juice 3-day cleanse detox, 2 for $120. Each bottle retails for $100, so that's a significant savings. We're happy to bring this to you. We appreciate you listening. We hope to serve you. If there's any ideas that you'd like to hear, please go ahead and text us at 985-727-7676. 985-727-7676. Text us with any topics that you may want to hear in the future, and we're happy to bring them to you. This is Dr. Burkenstock. Thank you so much.